What I'm going to do is I will take you through the process of building a fully automated AI agency. Well, the topic can be selected by you. It could be an AI agency, it could be a business agency, it could be anything you want. And when I say 100% automated, it is 100% automated, involving AI, amazing features that will be the cherry on the top for the video. If you're interested, leave a comment in the comment section, send me a note, whatever suits you. But if I have good amount of interest, then I can dissect the automation into parts that people are interested in and actually cover a video in more detail of how I built each one of them and the details of putting it all together. Oh, and one more thing before we move on. Please subscribe. I'm still a baby channel. I appreciate every subscribe I get. I appreciate every subscriber. I'm here to help you. If you see value, please hit that subscribe button. And even if you see a greater value, hit that ring bell, which I would appreciate a lot. Obviously, as you know, if you follow my channel, I love Zapier. It's just getting better and better every day. And there's a cherry on the top I'm going to share with you also at the end that you can do on top of everything we've created with Zapier. And remember, this automation is like a Lego, so you can build on it, you can expand it on your own. This is just the idea that suits me. Okay, so the first automation is the submission. So let me take you to my website. So if you go to the website, and you should go, and you should subscribe to the newsletter, you will find here, do you need support in business or tech? So if you click at that, it will take you to this page, where basically I'm telling you my proposition. I'm telling you it's 100% money back guarantee within a specific period, and then you register interest. Now here, when you click this one, you will go to this form. And if you know enough, you can tell that this is a Zapier form. So I will not focus on this, but basically it is my minimum requirement to get information from the user or from the prospect before I proceed. So we have that ready. The user fills it and hits submit. Now let's go back to the automation. So this is the first one. So a form is submitted. I put a little bit of delay just to avoid certain errors that happen sometime with testing. And then I create a contact in my HubSpot. And then I send an email to the customer. If you stick to the end, not only I'm going to give you the cherry on the top with Zapier, but I'll also show you how these emails look. Now, as we go, it will get more complex, more serious, and more interesting. So number 2 is here. So I decided to use Calendly for my appointment setting. So here, the email with the customer basically will have the Calendly link. They click it, and then they create an appointment. What that will do is that will go and find a record in my table. If you know Zapier, whenever a form is submitted, this is the first step that happened. The user submitted the form. There's a table behind it that gets updated with a record. So that's already there. What I do here is based on the email, based on certain information in the invite that I make as a requirement, I will find that record. And this is just a condition to protect my database. If it is true, if the database is there, then continue and find again the contact that we already created in HubSpot in the first step, and then update it with the actual meeting that's going to happen, the date or other details, and then also update our record. So I keep updating both HubSpot for the customer base only and the database I have on Zapier for everything else. The third automation is creating a calendar request directly without a form. So this is exactly the same as the second one. The only thing here, it's a customer returning using the same link. That's fine. I give that to my customers. So the link will go, it will identify that there's a record and that business was complete. But this is a new invite, and then it will create, you can see it will create a record and it will update it, and that's it. So I have another new line of business with that customer that I need to progress with and I need to close, but the customer doesn't really need to worry about things. They have a link, they decided to use it, they don't want to fill the form again, that's up to them. They fill the form again, the same thing works. Number 4 here is that Calendly was created, an invite, basically a link, without a record being created. So it's not a customer. So maybe someone, a customer gave it to a friend, or it got online somewhere, someone clicked on it and decided to, this is what they want. Basically, it's again a simple one here. But what we do here is we look at it, we look for a record. If we don't find that record, we basically do 3 things. I get an email just to know, hey Samer, there's someone who was trying to contact you or set up a meeting with you. This is their information. And then this part here is where they get an email telling them we've canceled the meeting. Please go and follow this link and fill up this form. Thank you for your interest. Now what this does, remember, if they do it on Calendly, I cannot stop it on Calendly. So once they set up that meeting on Calendly, an event is created. So I have 2 more automation steps that will identify and find that meeting and will cancel it for me. They will delete the event. So my calendar doesn't get really trashy for no reason. And this is just to keep things organized for me and for my customers. I care about them and I don't want even this nuisance for me to be something I worry about or an assistant to do. So the automation is doing it for me. Number 5, I will not go into. So someone basically decides to cancel. So they set up, they did everything ahead of the meeting, they canceled. For me, it's an update, something I need to update in my database and in my records and in my HubSpot. But also this is telling me that my proposition maybe wasn't sticky enough. What I do wasn't sticky enough for them. So midway, they were hesitant and decided to cancel. So I sent them a nice email basically telling them, is there any feedback? Is there something where I can do more for you, bring more value so you can trust our services? I can put there, like a hook to get them back in, like a discount. So number 6 is where we start going to the magic part. So now I'm going to move to Power Automate. So by this stage, there's a user, they have a meeting set up, a Teams meeting on their calendar, on my calendar, and we go into it and we have the conversation. Now, this is something that no way to create on Zapier. The reason is when you do these kind of things, when you want to pull a transcript, do all of these fancy stuff, it's a program, it's an app. So you're creating some kind of app, maybe for your own use or your own organization's use. So you have to go to Azure platform. And I had to learn that with ChatGPT. There's a GPT for Azure I found. I started working with it, doing my online research, watching some videos. So I went there, I took the credentials, I created that client. And then the only way to do it now without going into complex authentication with Microsoft is doing it within their platform. So I did it through Power Automate. So this is the Power Automate. So I'll walk you again through it briefly. If you want more details, if this interests you, just tell me in the comment section and we'll do one on this. So this automation will trigger when an event is about to start. Do you know when you have your meetings on Outlook and you get like 15 minutes notifications ahead of the meeting? This is kind of the same thing. The only thing here, this is used as a trigger. It just lets this whole automation run. So the first thing I do is I pull my profile. Now I have my profile information that I'm going to use at certain steps. Then I define some variables I'll explain later. So one of them is the meeting ID and the other one is the transcript ID, because I need both to pull the transcript at some point. And then this is just some composed type of steps just to manipulate data in a certain way. And here there's a condition. This condition is basically checking for a Calendly link. Running a business, I might get other meetings, right? And this condition is to check for a Calendly type of link in my invite or event. So in my business, the only where I'm using Calendly is for this consultancy. So I made it simple. I kept it simple. I can make it more sophisticated. You can do the same. So for me, if the event has a Calendly link, that means it's something that I do for the consultation. And if it's there, basically this is a consultation, then yes, go ahead and continue with the automation. But if it's not, it could be some other team meeting or some other meeting with a customer not related to consultancy, then I want it to stop. So I don't want to record and do all of these things. So let's assume there's a Calendly link. So this automation continues. So we start first step with an API request. And this API request will basically go check that event, check that meeting, and pull its information. Now, once I pull the information, I will have a meeting ID, which will be stored in the variable that I've created. And then I will delay for 2 hours. Usually these consultancy calls will take 1 hour. And then after that, if you use Teams, it's not instant where you get a recording of a video or a transcript. there is always a delay. So for me, just in case, I kept it 2 hours. Usually it's like minutes, like 2-3 minutes after the call, you get the transcript. I put 2 hours just in all scenarios. If the call is delayed, I cover all scenarios, and this only triggers the next one, only triggers after I'm 100% sure that the call ended. And here is basically another call that I send, and I get a list of the transcripts for this event. And usually there's one transcript, I get its ID. Again, I set the variable here. And then after that, I run one more call, HTTP call, and here I have the online meeting number or ID, I have the transcript ID, there's a certain API with authentication that I need to do, I run it, and basically I get back the transcript. Now, what do I need to do with the transcript? I want to continue from this point on my work on Zapier. So what I do, I have one more HTTP request that sends in a JSON format all this information. So you can see the body of the transcript, the other information that I had. I will send it through an API call basically for a hook that I will leverage in Zapier. So I continue my work there. Okay. So now we're back to Zapier. So the call happened, I captured the transcript, and I sent it with some information back to my webhook here in Zapier. So this is the step number 6, catch transcript to trigger. So we'll go into this automation. So you can see this is my webhook. So I catch it, I catch the information, I take it, I put it in the transcript, then I basically store it. I want to keep it just for record. I update my table. And after that, I check for certain things and I go to ChatGPT. So I take that transcript, I tell ChatGPT, this call happened, this is the transcript. Number 1, give me a message with a summary and insights and value that I can give back to my customer. So I do that in the first step. And then I do take my own notes. So I will ask it to analyze this for me, ChatGPT. And if you think there is upsell opportunities, if you think there's other things I can offer in the future to this customer, put it in a very short summary and notes and put it for me in the database. And then I asked ChatGPT to qualify the customer. Now remember, I spent an hour having a conversation with that customer and I didn't ask them to pay yet. So for me, after this conversation, I will get these notes, I will read them, I will analyze even my understanding of the conversation with that customer. If there's a huge upselling opportunity, if I can actually sell them more, something bigger, maybe performance automations for 10 times the money I'm going to get for this call, I might decide to cancel that invoice. I don't want you to pay for the consultancy, but let's have a conversation around more things to do on what we discussed. So let's do this job and against this price. Or I can do both. I can have them pay for the consultancy, which is fair, and then I can use this information to upsell. And all of that, as needed, goes to either the customer. And here I always create a draft. I don't send the email directly to them from AI because I want to give it my final review, but as if there's a secretary and an assistant behind me doing all the work for me. I have it on my draft. I get a notification, by the way, in a different email saying, hey, Samer, everything is ready. The draft is there. You can go and send it. And that's the email which I will show at the end that will tell me, do you want to shoot that invoice or not? So I make the decision. I have always the decision at each step to charge money or not. So sometimes I can give certain aspects to my customers based on the relationship and based on the business between us. Okay, so number 7 is completed consultation to payment link. So before I go into this one, I'll have to go back to Power Automate and show a small automation I've created there. So now I wanted to have the ability without even doing anything manual. I wanted from the palm of my hand, from my mobile, to click either yes and no on sending the invoice to the customer. And I had to do that through an HTTP link. And to do that, you can do it with Outlook. You have to work with Power Automate, but super simple. So let me show you that automation. So you see here, I have basically a link, and that link again has a JSON format, certain format that it gets information from. So what I do here is I take that link and I somehow reflect it into my email's HTML format. So in the form of a button. So I get it in a button. So once I hit that button, it's a run HTTP request and it just goes to a link. It just triggers a link. Now that link is basically this one. I capture from that email my decision and some information around the customer. So this is for a specific customer. And once that is done, again, I send an information back to another webhook on Zapier. So I can, in Zapier, go to the next automation, which I was showing you, and pick up that decision. So that decision could be a yes or a no. So we go back to Zapier. Here is where we pick up that decision. So I click the button on my email that I get from the previous step, and it sends an HTTP link to Power Automate. Power Automate will take my decision, send it back to a webhook. I capture it here. Based on this, I find my customer and do the other necessary steps. So for example, if it's a yes, I will have to go and create a customer in Stripe. Then I have to do some updates, update my record, and then basically send an email to the customer with everything, including the payment link that I built on Stripe. That's something you can find other videos around how to do. But if you have Stripe account, you can build a link for a commodity and or a line item that you can use in all your emails where there's payment. So it's very easy, very straightforward for this one. Number 8 is the customer feedback. So basically this is something I did on JotForm, and it just interacts between JotForm, getting information into my database. I want that feedback into my database, and then analyzing the database with ChatGPT, and eventually sending a thank you email to my customer after they decide to submit it. Now, the actual link for this form, for the feedback form, through the different emails I showed you at different steps, I will send it. So someone cancels, I will send the link, it will be there. I'll show you in the email versions at the end. Someone does something different, maybe I finish the consultation, I don't want them to pay, still I ask them as a favor to do the form. So it's just, this automation just takes care of managing the data for me. So I don't need to worry about a single thing in my automated business. Number 9 here is someone pays the invoice. So this is basically something that triggers with Stripe. So a checkpoint session is completed. I get that information. I find the record in my database. I update everything in HubSpot in my database, and then I send a thank you email. That's the nice thing to do. Someone pays you money, you say thank you. Automation number 10 is the payment follow-up. So I don't even want to do that. I don't think anyone wants to do that, is going after payments. But here, basically, once a month, I will go in, check the database, check for certain status for customers. So someone had the consultancy completed, didn't pay, and there was no request for a refund or a cancellation happening. So that means they are still due to do their payment. So I basically capture them, filter them, go through them one by one, send them an email to ask them to pay the payment again with some information. And then every month I will get an update from my automation, my assistant, telling me, hey Samer, this is the status, these are the people who didn't pay, and we sent them an email already. I sent them an email already as an automation. My free assistant, well, it's not super free, it's like $40 a month. Now, the last piece is if a refund happens. So the only thing I'm managing manually in the whole thing is the refunds. I don't want a refund. I don't want a system to do refunds on my behalf. Maybe it's a trust issue still I have with Stripe, but the more I work with Stripe, probably I'm going to automate this step even. So someone asks me for a refund, I will basically do the refund on Stripe, and then this is an automation that will do all sorts of updates across everything I manage, and at the end of the day it will trigger that email that goes to the customer saying, thank you, this is your refund, it's done, we've done it on Stripe. We would appreciate your feedback if you share it with us and why you asked for a refund. I think that's fair enough, and that's a smart way to do business. Now, before I move to showing you my emails and the cherry on the top at the end, I want to show you my database. I will not go into the details of the database. I think it's just nice for you to see. And this is part of what Zapier is doing in recent months or years. So we have Zapier as, you know, the Zap management system, so the automations. We have the chatbot now, which is in beta. We have tables where you can build databases, where you can do lots of things, and I'll show you at the end even more things you can use your database for. And even you have the Zapier Central, where you can do lots of crazy things, building really smart bots. And I created a video to compare that with GPTs, and I think Zapier might be beating ChatGPT at their own game. And last but not least, you have Canvas, where you can put all of these things together on one place. So let's go to the table. And this is basically a boring looking database. It's a database, right? So you just go through it. I have every single information, which is Boolean, true or false, actual text, numbers, figures, whatever you want. It's my go-to place to see every line item, every customer I deal with. And it is maintained within Zapier. And you will see why that's powerful in a second. So let me finally just show you quickly the emails, just for you to see the look and feel, just to get what I'm talking about, what my customers will get. So I'll start with this one. This is the email the customer gets when they fill the form. So they're interested, thank you for your interest, and then this is the link I'm talking about. If they click this link, they will go to my calendar basically to set up an appointment. Then we go to this one. This is when the call ends. So I get this in my email telling me, Samer, email sent to customer, records updated, and customer qualified as true. So I missed telling you this. So I mentioned that I do through ChatGPT qualify my customer after the call. I also added as a part here because maybe the call was great, but AI thought they're not qualified. I want to know this piece of information before I click yes or no. Yes, one automation goes, no, another automation goes. We've seen that already. And if you see when I hover over it, you can see the HTTP kind of request all embedded here, part of the HTML for this email. And this one is where I send them the invoice. So the invoice is basically created through the HTML itself. So this is the amount, this is the due date, and this is where they complete the payment. So let me show you how this works, just for me to brag that it's working. So you click complete the payment, and it goes and opens the payment link. So here you can do an actual payment now. So it's $200. You can do it through credit card and they pay. Okay, so after that, this is the email where, if you remember, if someone uses my Calendly link and they don't have a database record, we send them this, and this is basically, we tell them that we are sorry, we have to cancel your appointment. Click here to fill the form, and once submitted, you'll get an email with a link to set up our calendar meeting for the consultancy. So this is one more template here. All of it is ready and through Zapier and ready to go. And it's a fully, by the way, operational automation I've created. It's not like something hypothetical. I'm putting it out there. So if you want a consultation, AI automation about Zapier, about building systems, you know where to go now. So this is, I guess, the last one. And this is the follow-up email we sent to customers who didn't pay. So this is an outstanding invoice. Again, the same information, and just giving them some information, asking them nicely to pay with the link here again. So you find it clicked as I was testing. So these are all the emails that goes to our customer, but you can see they are simple, they are clean, they are direct to the point, and somehow branded. I can add my own logo into them. Again, no need to complicate things for a solopreneur gig. Now, last but not least, the cherry on the top, what you can do, what I got in an email yesterday from Zapier. So Zapier is pushing the boundaries on their bot. You will have to pay more for the bot actually to get the most out of it. Now, one super thing I found, and this is something I would definitely do if I get even one customer, because to put things into perspective, what this can do, it can actually help you grow more, get more customers, do much more with what you have. And it can reduce the meat, I think, on your automations. So all that complexity, I've done it through 11 automations. Maybe I can do it through 5 or 6. You can go to chatbots on Zapier, and you can create an agency. I called it an agency bot. You can create your own chatbot. Nothing super special here. It's not rocket science, but I'll tell you where it becomes powerful. So you can basically decide what kind of it. You can decide the model, the creativity, or the temperature. And then you can give it instructions and actions. Now, what gets super powerful is this. Upgrade to add a knowledge source. So I didn't upgrade to this. I don't need it yet. But imagine, and you can read it right here, connect your own knowledge from your Zapier tables. So see my table, my database that I created through my automation. I can reconnect it to a bot and have that bot do certain authentication, obviously, and then I'll deploy that bot on my website so my customers can go back and get feedback. So even my customer will have an easy life after calling me. Not only they will get an AI-based kind of analytics of the conversation with me, and well, for as far as their concerns coming from me, but they get deep insights about the conversations, their issues, and the potential solution, they can always refer to a bot that knows everything about their business interactions between us, and they can interact with that bot and get some information or recollect things or maybe discuss things. So whatever I decide to offer my customers, I can do it here, and I can link it to my database, and that's super powerful. And this is one knowledge source I can use. So for example, I can start giving special treatment for my customers and put special knowledge bases here that I offer to my customers, certain things around AI, around automation, how to build things, and they can go and take it as help. I know it's available out there, but just imagine what you can do with it for your business. So with this, you can see I have now 100% fully automated agency. It could be for AI. For me, I'm doing it today. I can give people consultancy around AI, automation, no-code systems, and what I do for my day job, I don't forget about that because I have 20 years there, procurement and supply chain. But now, as I built this system and I have the blueprint, so do you. You can do that. You can do some research and replicate it in detail again and again and again. You want me to give you more details? Please do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy if there's enough interest to do that for you. If you like the video, please hit that like button, and I hope I deliver enough value to you. If you see that value, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. It will help me a lot. And hey, I'm not holding you from sharing my video with others. That will definitely help me. And by the end of the video, you're gonna, as usual, see 2 videos here. One, I will select for you, maybe link to one of my previous videos related to this one. And the other one, I'll let the algorithm choose for you so you can find something you enjoy. And with this, thank you for hanging in and watching the video till the end, I hope, and goodbye.